Welcome back to Restaurant Review. I'm your host, Bob Bockelman, and once again, we've got a great treat for your dining pleasure as well as your listening pleasure. Again, for those new in our audience, we're here on Saturdays on Channel 77 in Orleans Cable, and we're here from 3 to 4 p.m. We debut a new restaurant chefs and musical guests each week, and love for you to participate. There'll be numbers flashed on the thing for you to call if you'd like to ask any questions of our chef or any of our other guests. There'll also be a number at the end of the show for you to call if you have any other questions. Plus, our website, don't forget, is www.restrevue. That's RESTREVUE.com, and you can ask us any question, make suggestions on restaurants or musicians you'd like to see. Okay. Without further ado, we're going to take a stroll to the back of our studio to welcome our new musical guest, and we've got a great show for you today, so follow me, folks. Okay, let's see, am I in here? Yes, I am. Let's see, where's Cedric? There we go. Okay, we have welcome to, Restaurant Revue. This is Cedric Phillips, and the name of his band is the Caribbean Flamz Band. Is that correct?
Yes, Bob.
Yes, Bob. He's so polite. That's what I like. So, Cedric, unfortunately, even though he looks like one of our neighbors, is not from here. We won't hold it against him. But tell us where you're from, Cedric.
I'm from this little place called St. Vincent and the Grenadines, like somewhere way down in the Caribbean.
Sounds so pretty, though, doesn't it, Tony? Really
It is.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Well, we're going to let Cedric introduce us to the members. And don't worry, folks. You know it's a local show, so we have to have some locals in this band. I promise you we do. So, Cedric, let's go from here and talk about some of your band members.
We have in this corner over here on lead guitar Sebastian Weston.
Sebastian, welcome.
From New Orleans,
right.
Way out in the east.
There you go.
Back here in drums, we have Danny Martinez from Honduras, Caliente. Over here on the corner on keyboards, we have Percy Harold from New Orleans also, and myself, Cedric Phillips from St. Vincent.
Great. What a great group. Okay, folks, they've been recording how long together?
About 2 years plus.
A couple of years. They haven't gotten the CD out yet, but Cedric promises to let us know when that is so that we can, in case you like his music, you can pick that up and it would be great to hear it. Now, he also appearing at several local gigs. He doesn't play at our favorite haunt, the Neutral Ground. Hopefully I'm going to try and get him over there one night so he can entertain some of the folks uptown, because that's a great place. And you know that's where we get a lot of our musical talent. But he does appear locally around here, and especially he's tied to our restaurant. We're not going to name the restaurant yet, but tell us when you're going to be appearing.
We're going to be appearing on the 8th for the first anniversary for November the 8th for the first anniversary for the restaurant. Also, we're going to appear on the 30th, right after Thanksgiving, the Thursday of November. We're going to appear on the Friday, actually.
Excellent. So, Saturday, the 8th of November, and Friday, the 30th. You can catch them at the grand anniversary of this restaurant for the first one. So, either one of those times would be a great place to see them in the flesh. And I know you had one other gig somewhere else, but...
we're going to be on the North Shore the 10th of November for our grand opening also.
Excellent. Okay, folks. Well, without further ado, we're anxious to hear this music. We're sitting here, and I think the first song is called No, No, No?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Original. cause my heart just doesn't break away. No, 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 no. I'll never fall in love again. No, no, no. I'm broken heart never mend. No, no, no. I'll never fall in love again. No, no, no. I'm broken hearted, cannot end. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no.
Very, very nice. Well, folks, like I said, it really should be said. The song should be just say yes, yes, yes to Cedric Phillips and the Caribbean Flames Band. Cedric, I forgot to ask you one last thing. I know we gave some of those events out, but we didn't give your website out. Would you mind telling the folks what that is? So
It's Roots Connection.
Root Connection
At
at bellsouth.net.
Bellsouth, yeah.
Root Connection at Bellsouth. So you can check out all of the calendar featuring seeing the sites exactly where they're going to be. And I think you want to hear him after hearing that first song. I know I want to hear more of him, and we'll be anxious for his CD. Okay. Well, we baited your appetite by not telling you the restaurant that is featured today, and we even had to keep Cedric quiet about it, even though they're going to be appearing for the grand anniversary, the upcoming first anniversary. And we want to tell you that the name of the restaurant today is Wadadli. Wadadli, W-A-D-A-D-L-I. It's a fun word. And we're here today with the owner, executive chef, Miss Charmaine Martin, and her entire family. This is a family act, folks. You ought to hear how many people, all the kids, the husband, everybody's in the game playing here. Charmaine, welcome to the program. Welcome. Thank you. Charmaine is conservative with her words, so we're gonna have a good time today. But Charmaine has opened a restaurant. It's going to be 1 year old, coming that first weekend in November when Cedric's going to play. Great Jamaican influence or Antiguan influence. In fact, Charmaine, tell us a little bit, what does Wadadli mean, or tell us what does it celebrate?
Wadadli means it's from our country where I'm from, Antigua.
Antigua.
It's Little Antigua. It's go back from way back in the slavery days. And Antigua, Wadadli was known as Little Antigua. And that's where it's originally come from. Now they do not use Wadadli, they just said Antigua. So
okay.
I just comes up with the
name. So that was the original name?
The original name was Wadadli.
I see. But also, didn't you tell me that it also represents an event, just like we have one? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, it also has an event the first Monday in May, the second Monday in May in Antigua for Wadadli Days. It's just like the Thanksgiving Day here in New Orleans where they have Thanksgiving. It's Wadadli Days where we have families get together, we celebrate and eat and drink. They celebrate turkey for Thanksgiving. We celebrate different entrees like oxtail and goat and.
Well, we don't give away too much. We're going to go over the menu and tell them that. But the idea is a celebration on an annual event,
right?
And you celebrate it in the 1st of May. So that's our first Monday in May.
Second Monday.
Okay, we'll get it. You'll get me straight. The important thing is, let's talk a little bit more about the restaurant now. For those folks who are not familiar, it's in our mid-city area on Tulane Avenue. Now they are open for lunch and dinner. You're closed on what day? Sunday only?
On Sunday.
And you're closed at Saturday lunch, right?
Right. We only open for dinner. Exactly.
For dinner on Saturday night, closed Sunday, and then Monday through Friday, lunch and dinner. That's great. Okay, let's go into one other question I had about your family. Let's see, what did I want to ask about it? We talked about it being Thanksgiving, in our word Thanksgiving. Okay, well, let's just get into, I know you had some experience a long time ago or in your upbringing back home in restaurant. Tell us about that family business.
The family business that we have, we still do have it there.
Oh, okay.
My grandmother, she's the one who's running it at home. We growed up with in the kitchen. They call it restaurant here, but we call it kitchen.
Kitchens,
there.
yeah. Everybody is
Where we
homemade, so it's all called a kitchen. But
Right.
anyway, so that's where you started?
That's where we started, yeah.
Okay. And then you came over here and you decided you wanted to do something for us?
Yeah.
To
came
bring
over here
that
and decided
flavor?
to bring the Caribbean flavor here.
Excellent. Folks, for those who are natives, you know that we don't have a lot of. There's only really been one other true Caribbean restaurant, Jamaican restaurant now. We're getting a lot of new restaurants that are adding the influence. In fact, the one we just talked about at the prior show has a lot of Caribbean. They do some jerk things. And, again, a Caribbean influence and flavor. So it's obviously a very popular taste, and therefore a lot of the restaurants are starting to add that among their regular fare. But here, this is the mainstay. So that's what's good. And you're getting it from a native who's learned to cook it all her life. So that's the key. So we're going to actually start down through the menu. Again, folks, as you know, you can call us at any time. They have numbers on the screen, 483-3336, 483-3338, with any question you might have. But we're going to go ahead and start. Even though it's a small restaurant, how many you seat about?
Around 50.
50. But it also is a gem-packed menu. The menu looks small, but it is packed with information. So let's start as we always do with appetizers. And I asked her to talk about one of her native dishes. Now, as I mentioned to her, I said, gee, on the show, do we really want to feature that? The name before I ate it, beef patty. That just sounds like something you get at a local fast food. But tell us the difference between a true beef patty from your country versus what we think here in America of a beef patty.
Our beef patty, it consists with the real beef. We do not have processed beef.
No processing,
it's
good.
in a dough flour like a bread.
It really looks like a turnover.
It looks like a turnover.
It's sealed around. It's semicircular, but great. Now, what is the meat? What kind of bread meal or dough is that?
It's tamale flour.
Tamale. It reminded me very much the consistency of tamale. I didn't ask you that before.
Tamale
but
flour.
excellent.
It's made with that. Yes.
And it's how do you cook it? You bake it or you
bake it?
Bake it.
Yes.
Excellent, folks. And this you get what is it? One patty to an appetizer?
Yeah, one patty to an
Well, it's a
appetizer.
big thing, so you can share this among you. But it's a great flavor. A little bit of a spice, but not a heavy kick. Not a heavy kick.
Yeah.
And great dough. So it'll look like a Jamaican tamale. I think that's a good description of it. I'm glad we brought that in. So don't hesitate to try that. Now all of us who've eaten Jamaican food know that one of the key terms, and this is what you're seeing more and more at our other type restaurants, is jerk. And you can prepare jerk on a lot of different, whether it's fish, whether it's meat. Tell us, before we go into jerk shrimp, which is on our app, a wonderful dish, tell us what does actually jerk mean, or how is that jerk preparation done?
Jerk preparation is done with a seasoning. Jerk seasoning, you could buy it anywhere. Most of the stores have the jerk seasoning, but it's the person that prepared the jerk seasoning. Some people just take it from the store and just put it on your meat. But if you add garlic and a little beer to it, to marinate it, that's what makes the difference in your jerk seasoning of your flavor.
But
of your
also
food.
jerk is very spicy. This is why I want to bring
spicy.
it. This is New Orleans, the real heat level. New Orleans like that hot level, and Jamaican food is going to, now even though they have a lot of things that they balance with it, jerk food is really some of the hottest you can get. So even though you're saying it's garlic flavor, which is spicy, but this has a real kick to the heat. And that's what, black pepper?
It's a pepper back home. We call it Scott Bunny.
Scott Bunny.
Not bunny.
Not bunny. Scott Bunny.
Pepper. Yeah, it's a
Scott
pepper.
Bunny. I know you mentioned that, and you said it's something to do with Scotland now.
It's B-O-N-N-E-T.
And B-O-N-N-E, which means hat or
Yeah.
good. Anyway, folks,
Pepper.
flavor is delicious. And as we mentioned, you can jerk a lot of things. On her appetizer, she serves a jerk shrimp. And folks, this is a big order. You know, this is not one little shrimp, so you can really serve this for the table. It's almost going to be an entree because it's so much. There's nothing accompanying it except for the basic ingredients, the onions and the peppers and all that you're cooking in. But delicious flavor, delicious. Really give you that kick to jump off to really know what you're about to experience. Now, you also have jerk drumettes. Now, that's an unusual thing where you're taking the chicken drumettes, is that what it is?
Chicken drumettes, yeah.
And hitting it with that jerk flavor.
Jerk flavor, right.
Excellent, excellent. Those are good.
Grill it.
Now, she does some other things, shrimp almondine and buffalo wings, and they will be different, right? The buffalo wings will be your kind of sauce. But I think if you concentrate on one of those three, you're really going to see what this kitchen can put out, the real taste. And some of these others are also things that are included in entrees or other dishes. So let's move on from the appetizers, and we want to go to salads as usual. Salads are an egg. I don't believe we have any soups on the menu. You don't do soups, right?
No, I don't do soups.
It's no problem, no problem. We're just asking. I wanted to make sure that might not be some special soup you're hiding for special occasions or something. But salads, we have a signature salad here. It's a Caribbean mango salad. And once again, folks, we're talking about an entree salad. This is more than enough for one, even really more than enough for two. Absolutely delicious. And it has what my favorite kind of salad is when you have ice cold, the traditional cold greens, the traditional thing we think of a salad, mixed with something hot. And I don't mean just spice, I mean oven hot. That blend of the heat and the cold coming together and cohesing is fabulous. Tell us, what do you do with this? And I don't want to give away to you to tell what's in the mango salad. Besides the mango, don't hit the mango yet. What's that hot element in the salad?
The hot elements in the salad is the mango that I sauteed. I cooked the mango in a little cornstarch. A little calypso sauce. And some carrot syrup.
Right. You're going to notice, folks, that mango, right? Because I love mango, and most of it eat it cold as a fruit. Completely different with sautéing it and putting that thing. It puts a little more sweetness. Really brings out a flavor.
Yeah.
But now the heat element, besides just being a regular salad, it includes what I consider almost like jerk shrimp.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, it has the shrimp. It has the mango sauteed with the onions and the different peppers.
Peppers. You got a full line of
hot
peppers.
peppers
And your croutons in it, big homemade, like delicious croutons, and then on the lettuce and tomato, and I'm telling you, folks, great. This would make a great lunch, and or dinner, and really, you could stop here. This is more than enough. We ordered some to take out the other night, and we couldn't even finish it. We had 2 people eating it, so we had some other dishes. But wonderful flavor, really great, because it's mixing all of the things that we like, sort of like Thai cooking, where there's hot, unusual things, where there's spicy, but done with sweet and dill and sour. So it's the same kind of paradox in this salad that some of the Thai cooking use. So we really recommend that. And she has some other salads which we didn't get a chance to supply or to taste, and that's chicken salad, a shrimp salad, and a garden salad. Now the chicken and shrimp, what's the difference on those? How do you, anything different than what we talked about with the mango?
They're just regular
grilled the seafood or grilled the farm.
Yeah, our chicken is seasoned. I do a lot of seasoning overnight.
I see.
Marinate them overnight. So when you grill it, you get a different taste for a grilled salad.
Excellent. Well, that's the key, folks. A lot of this cooking involves a lot of preparation, and that's the marinating for hours on end in all these great herbs and sauces to really let that flavor penetrate before she actually cooks it. All right, now, one thing we want to feature that she does feature, which it's not my favorite idea. I am not a buffet fan, for those who know me. I don't go to fast food. I don't like fast food. I don't like buffets. Something to do with everybody eating out the same dish. But anyway, the important thing is that she does feature a great, and this would be great for the novice, for you out there who've never tried it, a wonderful luncheon buffet that goes all during the lunch period in early afternoon. And it would be great for you to try this, because a lot of the food that we're talking on, it is actually represented. And that's not the same thing every day, and it's not everything we talk about. But it gives a good representation of what her restaurant represents. But we're not going to focus on the buffet. We're going to focus on the individual dishes that may or may not be on the buffet, so that you can really learn what it's all about. Now, one of the other things that, besides the spice that we talked about, spice level of Jamaica, is also their great uses of vegetables. And I was telling Charmaine before that we do have a loyal caller, hopefully she'll call today, Grace, she called at the first show, who is a vegetarian. And this would be a perfect restaurant for her, because any other, we had a new vegetarian caller last week, Beverly, who also is interested in vegetables. So here's a great thing, folks. We have a big array and common use, a lot of variety of vegetables. She has vegetable special dishes, and let's talk about them. And these are all available at lunchtime or also at dinner. And let's talk about one of the signature dishes, and that's called a pepper pot. Tell us about the pepper pot, please, Charmaine.
Okay, the pepper pot consists of all the vegetables that you can think of.
Okay, tell us some of them.
Zucchini, squash,
okay,
melatonin,
broccoli. Our local melatonin?
Local
wonderful.
melatonin.
Now, that is something that makes you want to write
broccoli, cauliflower, all the vegetables.
All the vegetables.
Right.
And what do you do with it?
We cook them up together, and we add a little of that Scott Bonnet sauce in it. And also there's a butter that I use. You do not get that butter here. It's only can buy in the Caribbean, and that's the mellow cream butter.
Mellow cream, yeah, you mentioned it.
Yes.
And what makes it different from our butter?
Because the way how they prepare it, they use the real milk, not processed milk.
No,
the milk straight from the cow.
Straight from the cow. So again, folks, we're talking about things that for those health-conscious people that are worried, are getting unprocessed things. So this is great, straight from the cow.
Right. So it gives it a different flavor altogether, and that's what Wadadlis consists of, a different flavor.
And is it served in a pot, or is it just cooked in a pot?
No, I cooked it in the pot, and then I mixed it all together. You cooked it until it just lint away.
Oh, okay.
So it lint away and become like a thick soup.
Soup.
Right.
Ah, so you do have a soup.
You put a little.
You have a sneaky soup that you didn't even know. I haven't tried this one, folks.
Well, then you can call it vegetable. Here they may call it vegetable soup. But back home we call it pepper pot, it's the different vegetables.
Well, there you go, folks. But if you're using melatonin, I know I got to go try that. And now I know she has a soup dish, so I'm going to get a little small instead of a regular entree portion. I'm going to always include that in my eating, because I love soup, and it sounds like it's a great one. Now, she has a bunch of, she has vegetable pasta, vegetable yellow rice, vegetable po' boy, and we're going to talk about that po' boy in a second, so we'll give it a vegetable patty. So she has a list of vegetable specials, so I'm telling vegetarian specials. Folks, you really got to go try this, especially our faithful callers. Get out there and try these vegetarian. Now, let's talk about lunch. Besides the buffet, you also, and you order the sandwiches at night, too, or just at lunch? So you can order the sandwiches. Let's hit again on that vegetarian, sauteed vegetarian po' boy, vegetable po' boy. Is it the pepper pot on bread? What is it?
No, it's not pepper pot on bread. It's sauteed vegetables. It doesn't cook all the way.
Okay.
It's sauteed with the different ingredients like cabbage. I have cabbage.
Oh, you use cabbage. So we're using
broccoli,
some different ones.
The cabbage, the broccoli, the cauliflower, the zucchini, the yellow squash, and the bell peppers.
Wow.
The 3 different bell peppers, the red, the yellow, and the green.
And you're sauteing
and you sauteed all
in
of
that
that
mellow cream
in
butter?
The mellow cream
I'm catching it, folks. I'm getting onto it quick. So and then you serve it on our traditional French bread? Or?
Traditional French bread, right.
Wow, because there is a special bread we're going to talk about a little bit of Jamaican bread that she also serves on many of these dishes. But this is on French. Yeah. That sounds great. There you go, Grace. There you go. 2 of them. Pepper pot and, by the way, we do have a caller. I'm hoping that's Grace. Welcome to the show, caller. You're speaking to Charmaine Martin of Wadadli and Bob Bockelman. Who's calling, please?
Hello, this is Grace.
Grace, hi. We've been warning Charmaine, and we're hoping you're calling right at the perfect time. We're just going over. Wadadli is a Jamaican restaurant, but has an extensive menu for vegetarians.
Fantastic. Okay, and where are they located?
They're located. What's your exact address on Tulane Avenue in Mid-City?
1933 Tulane Avenue.
1933, right across from the University Hospital, is that
the LSU Medical
Center.
LSU
Medical Center, big complex.
Okay, I know where that is.
You know where that is? Good, great.
Now I'm going to ask a question that a previous caller had asked you last week.
Okay.
And that is, do they get single diners there?
Yes, they do.
And is it vegetarian? Is the restaurant vegetarian? Do they serve vegetarian dishes?
Well, yeah, as we mentioned, that's what's so great, and we're so glad you called. Single diners, they got all size diners. They get from singles to big groups, especially because I mentioned there's a buffet. But now the buffet is not vegetarian per se. There's some of these dishes.
There's a buffet?
Yeah, during the lunch day. There's a wonderful buffet where you can try a lot of these exotic dishes, but they're not all vegetarian. So that's the problem. How many would be meeting your requirements? I think you would do better to let us go over again real quick some of the vegetable dishes. I'm going to ask Charmaine to reiterate. We talked about, let me listen to these, and I'm going to let her talk about the main dish, the signature. There's a vegetable pasta, a vegetable roti where they grill them, vegetable yellow rice, vegetable po' boy, and a vegetable patty, and a pepper pot. Once again, let's talk about the pepper pot real quickly, Charmaine, so Grace will know.
Thank you. It's a lot of all the vegetables that you can think of.
And Grace, more importantly, it's not all, even melatonin, local melatonin.
That's fantastic.
I know you like eggplant, but this is using melatonin. I think you'll like
I love
this.
melatonin.
There you go. And she cooks it all down with your butter.
Yeah.
The special butter.
Special butter that we have. And that's the mellow cream butter that is from the Caribbean. It's not here.
And uses the Scott Bonnet sauce.
And the Scott Bonnet sauce, yeah.
Oh, that's
Cook way down, Grace, so you'll love it.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you the other one. Let Charmaine tell you about the sautéed vegetable po' boy. I wanted to say it was a pepper pot on bread, but I found out quite differently. So tell us the difference. Listen to this, Grace.
Right.
What are some of the vegetables on the po' boy?
The cabbage, the broccoli, the cauliflower, zucchini, and the three peppers, the green pepper, the yellow pepper, and the red pepper. You saute all of that down.
She sautés that in the that same mellow cream butter, and she serves it on our traditional French bread. Now, you know that's a winner for you, huh?
That sounds great. I can't wait to go there.
Okay, well, great.
Okay, and you're 19 what?
1933 Frenchman?
19,
Frenchman.
no, 1933
We're just
Tulane,
one
right?
block away from the...
right before Bank Street.
Yeah, 1 block away from Rosenberg Furniture.
From Rosenberg, everybody knows
Okay, yeah, I know where the LSU
Good.
Medical Center.
Well, remember they're closed on Sunday and closed Saturday lunch, but they're open for lunch and dinner the rest of the nights, okay?
Thank you very much.
And pay attention to this music, because some of this music's going to be here for her grand anniversary coming up on November 8th.
Oh, I love the Caribbean
And I think you'd
music.
love to hear this. Cedric Phillips Band is really going to be perfect for this restaurant.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Charmaine. I appreciate your information.
Thanks for you.
And I will be going there soon.
Excellent. Thanks for your usual call, Grace, and support. You're helping everyone out there.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, great. Well, I'm sure glad she called, because we couldn't have picked a better restaurant for Grace to hit us. Sometimes, we're stretching those restaurants to accommodate her, but here's one where I think she can really feel at home.
Okay.
Good.
Great.
Okay, now, so let's go quickly over some of the other po' boys. You have hot sausage, grilled chicken, fried chicken, shrimp, fish, half and half, jerk chicken, and a patty with cocoa bread. We're not going to say what that is yet. We're going to hold that in abeyance. But let's go over to now, we're going to talk about the entrees at dinner time. Okay, now she breaks them up into 3 areas: dinner entrees, seafood entrees, and pasta specialties. So now the seafood entrees and the pasta specialties you can also get at lunchtime. Is that right?
Right. Awesome. Yeah.
Let's pick out some of the top 3. I think the top 3, first of all, again, staying with that jerk. She has a combination of jerk, chicken, and shrimp. So that's fowl and turf, I guess. But the important thing, she's taking 2 of her best things, chicken and shrimp jerk, and putting them together. Tell us what you're serving that with.
With the saffron rice. It's
Saffron rice,
yellow
wow.
saffron rice that I prepared. A lot of customers like the saffron rice.
Well, saffron, as you all know, is the most expensive herb in the world, and saffron rice is certainly one of my favorite. And I was listening to a show the other day about some of the big chefs saying that rice is in. Pasta, which has been for the last pasta's always been favorite of everyone, but it has really been in prominence in the last 20 years. Just the opposite now. The shift is to rice, and because of the numerous types of rice all over the world, the international, there's green rice, there's King Frederick's rice, there's so many, there's the basmati rice of the Hindus, saffron rice, which is used in a lot of the Spanish as well as Caribbean cooking, that is now the real starch of the new decade. So I think you're going to see a lot of opportunities here at the restaurant, and saffron rice is wonderful with this dish. All right, now this one is not for the queen this year. This one's going to be a little bit, for the Americans who've been to Jamaica, they'll know what we're talking about. But hold your breath and don't turn your ear away from this. But she actually does an oxtail in butter sauce. Can you talk about that and whether it really is oxtail?
Yes.
You know, some people think
really
that's just a fake name, you know.
No, some people think of it because it's a tail. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, we're not going to eat no tail."
That's right.
But it's not really the tail of an ox. Is the from the vertebrae to half of the tail.
Okay, so
It's
it's
an
the
axis, so
telltale,
it's a
half
meat.
the tail.
Yeah, but it's a meat. It's just like beef.
It is
Yeah,
just like
it's just
beef.
like beef.
Doesn't
Oxtail
taste like chicken like this.
doesn't taste like chicken. Doesn't taste like goat. It's more of the beef family because it's coming from the beef family. Ox is from
Okay,
the cow section.
from the cow, sure.
Right.
Now, how do
So-
you prepare this?
Well, I prepare it by sauteed it first, and then I burnt it. You have to burn.
Burn.
oxtail.
What are we burning? This.
We burn in the oxtail itself so you could get the flavor out of the bone.
From
then
the
you
bone.
cook it, right.
Everybody knows that
cook it.
marrow and that bone is so you're burning you're physically burning it,
Yeah.
and that's
can
releasing
get
the flavors from the
right.
bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else?
And then you cook it down with, I have my butter, but there's another thing that I add to it, and
Uh-oh.
that's the spoonful of Bacardi.
Bacardi, the rum family? Well, folks, you knew
To
it
get
won't
the
be
flavor.
Jamaican without rum, and we're going to have some other days and stuff. Oh, my goodness. So some of us teetotalers might not be able to eat this. But I'm sure that cooks off.
Yeah, it's cooked soft. You're not going to even taste it in there, but you just give it a flavor.
Wonderful.
That's
Now, you
just
use
what
the
it is.
light Bacardi or a dark Bacardi?
Anyone you use.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone.
use
Excellent. Well, there you go, folks, for the real adventurous. But this is a staple of Jamaica, so don't hesitate to try it. I haven't tried it yet, not because I have a distaste for it. It's just I haven't had a chance yet. I've only eaten there twice
When
or
you
three
try it,
times.
you're going to love it.
And now I know I got a pepper pot and some other things, and certainly the oxtail to try. But another one that I hadn't tried either is she's proud of her balsamic curried chicken, huh?
Yeah.
So that's unusual. Let's talk about curry. We don't think of Jamaica being curry. We think of curry being China or India or Thailand, but not so much Jamaica. Why
Well,
would
the
we have curry?
Caribbean in the whole is curry. Everywhere in the Caribbean, you're going to get curry. Curry chicken, curry goat, curry oxtail. You can have curry oxtail, curry fish.
Now,
you
what
have
type?
everything
I mean,
curry.
may I put you on the spot here?
But
What type? Now, I know, like in Thailand, there's three types of curry that I know about: a red, yellow, and a green.
Well, it's
And
the
musselman,
yellow.
which is for the sweet curry.
Yeah, the yellow curry is what we have because the Caribbean curry is made from the sugar cane also.
Ah, there it is, folks. And that's one of our ingredients,
that's-
sugar cane. You know, our natural sugar cane.
Yeah, they make it from the sugar cane. So it stand out a little bit from the green curry and the other kind of curry.
Right, because of
And-
the sweetness on that. And then you
Right.
also use a balsamic vinegar?
Right, the balsamic vinegar I use.
And how do you serve your chicken? And you cook it all down?
You cook
again?
it all down, yeah. And
This
I
is
add
what this Jamaican is really home cooking, folks. This is the kitchen,
Yeah.
and that's what I've always loved about it. It reminds you so much, even though it's not necessarily your home. You know it's a home cooked meal the way it's done. The whole presentation, the spice level, the ingredients, so natural. Certainly, family type food. Okay, even though it might be a little spicy with some of the kids. At the same time, it's a wonderful flavor. So what else do you serve with this one? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
we
you off.
serve the peas and rice
Peas.
with that.
Again, on the standard. Now, what kind of peas do we use in it?
Well, I use the Spanish call it gandules, and we call it back home pigeon peas.
Pigeon peas, which is a little darker pea.
little darker peas. Yeah.
Wonderful, folks. I have to admit, and some of the other Jamaicans I've eaten is they use traditional green peas,
Right.
which is great too.
Uh-huh.
But when I tried it the other night, I did not know she didn't use it. She didn't tell me that. And I had a to-go dinner, and I got it in the rice, and it was delicious. I thought, oh, this is perfect, really perfect, a great treat. Okay, now, she gets real exotic with curry goat and some lamb chops, Caribbean style, jerk fish, like you said. And what type of fish do you normally use when you jerk?
I usually use either the trout or if in season then they have the redfish. I'll use
Redfish.
the redfish.
Well, that's what I got to know when the redfish, because the redfish and red snapper are two of my favorite fishes. All right, but there's one more I want to talk about in the dinner entrees, and there's another traditional Jamaican thing called escovette. Just like jerk is escovette. It's a hard word to pronounce when you see it, but escovette chicken is what you have here.
Yeah.
Tell us the difference between escovette and the jerk. And I'll elaborate.
Escovette Escovitch chicken is sauteed different from the jerk. Is a seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
The escovitch is vinegar and lemon juice,
Okay.
and you cook it with your chicken, and you burnt it in the pot with your onions and all of that, and you add a little of kitchen bouquet.
Ah, there it is. We all know what kitchen bouquets are, and that's to
Right.
make our sauces
Sauces
brown, huh?
right.
Pretty brown, a beautiful roux.
Right. Ooh, when you make
Well, I noticed that there's a similarity in taste, except jerk is much stronger with the
Right,
heat,
it's
much
stronger.
hotter. So if you want something a little less hot, I think escovitch is your way to go. And do you do, besides chicken, do you do fish, anything
fish,
else?
yeah, you do the escovitch fish.
Escovitch fish would also I recommend. Let's see, there's a couple of more before we go back to our band. Let's see what we want to talk about, because again we have pasta specialties. You do a crawfish pasta, a shrimp pasta, chicken Alfredo, and a jerk chicken pasta. Well, now the jerk chicken pasta sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, tell us something about some of these others. I'm glad to see you using a lot of our local ingredients like crawfish and shrimp pasta. What type of sauces are we putting on these?
On the crawfish and shrimp?
Yeah.
Well, I make my own little sauce.
But is it like
the
a
caraway.
cream-based or not
It's
a cream?
It's a cream-based sauce
Uh-huh.
that I make with. I use the canned cream, evaporated cream,
Okay.
that I use to make the sauce.
All right. And how about these hot level on these? Is it hot again or not so?
No,
But the
it's not
cream ought to
hot.
bring it
It's-
down a little bit, huh?
Right, the cream bring it down, and I add a lot of seasoning from back in our country. They can't purchase it here.
Oh,
It's not
really?
here, right?
On
So
your pasta specialties or all throughout, or some other areas too?
throughout the whole kitchen, I use the seasoning from back.
Some of the
home.
seasoning.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about one as a side that I know about. It's not really a seasoning, but no ingredient that's excellent. So, well, that sounds great. So there you go, folks. There's pasta with all the stuff that we need. Or if you want the hot one, go with the jerk chicken pasta, because I think that ought to be ideal,
Yeah.
really ideal. Now, she also has what she calls seafood entrees. And again, about 7 or 8. I picked 2 or 3, and we'll mention the others, but the one that I was really impressed, and I wasn't even able to eat because I had ordered so much of this other stuff at lunch the first time, is her signature. It's called Wadadli Seafood Spud. That's right, folks, spud, potato. For a while there was a big fad, it still is, the idea of eating a baked potato and then starting to cram it with all kind of stuff. You are not going to believe the stuff. Let's talk about the Wadadli Seafood Spud. It's phenomenal. This is something where you will be you'll be stuffed just as what you're eating.
The seafood spud is diced fish, which is the diced trout I use, and the shrimp, and I sauteed all of them in some Alfredo sauce, and I put a little coconut rum.
Coconut rum.
To the flavor over baked potato. I sauteed all of it, and it comes very creamy, and it tastes very great.
It does.
And it also has my mellow cream butter I put in there, and the pepper, some red pepper I put in it.
And then
But
all kind of vegetables.
And all kind of vegetables, yeah.
Folks, the plate is,
Little-
you can't even see the potato. Until you have to scrape underneath, which is a waste of time, because then you're ruining it. The idea is dig in from the top, get that potato, go all the way to the bottom, get the potato with it. But you're talking about a huge plate of wonderful tasting things. So this would be a great alternative. And again, is there any fish or shrimp in that?
Yeah, it's
you
fish
said
and
that-
shrimp and vegetables sauteed.
So if you're a vegetarian and you can eat seafood, then this would be perfect for you, because it's a huge, huge dinner. All right, we've got to take a break now because we still got things to go in the entrees, but our band is anxious to give you another one of their medleys, so we're going to turn it over to Cedric Phillips and the Caribbean Flames Band. And Cedric, what are you going to do for your second number?
This one is called Substitute. It's a kind of dancehall flavor. So dancehall is something, mixed with reggae and a little bit of soca stuff and things like that. So it's called Substitute. Roots to run. Just see her done living and the sipping and the stay and the jump and the brown, the girl that will say. You take the time to race out the mind and the substitute the love and the love out. Say, get me loving on the face and the show me on the soul. Music and the rhythm. Loving on the thing, when I'm the bum, that's the president. You see on the day you get another handshake. My girlfriend was gone, she called me away. She left me outside, in the rain, the cold, and the loving and the loving girls. I say, girl, I'm a substitute the lover, and I say, girl, me not a substitute the lover, and I say, girl, me not a substitute the lover, and I say, girl, me not a substitute the lover. That's my style. This one is for you and the loving as the Jews say. This one is for you and the loving as the Jews say. Now first time. That's first time again. Just the other day, we walk out the door, the young girl loving that she gonna go through. She put all she mother, loving on the street. See home, they gonna come in and again. Just the other day, give me a walk out the door. She could see the leave me standing in the cold. My heart reach out for love in the time. She said the music coming on the same. Me say, y'all I'm on the man, a substitute lover. Say me say, y'all milking on the substitute lover. Me say, y'all this can on the substitute lover. Say me they gonna watch this on the rum, they gonna racing on the substitute. Y'all me they gonna know the substitute lover. Me say, y'all don't want a man, a substitute lover. Me say, y'all don't want a man, a substitute lover. So me say, one shot of sword, also style.
Folks, I guess you could say there's no substitute for Cedric Phillips and the Caribbean Flamz Band. And I hope no one thinks that our director didn't get the spelling correctly on that band. If you saw that title, they do spell it F-L-A-M-Z. So, don't think we messed up. We got it correct. Cedric Phillips and the Caribbean Flamz Band. They're going to come back to us one more time at the end of the show. And then, of course, we'll remind you about their appearance at this great restaurant. We're talking to Mrs. Charmaine Martin. She and her lovely family, a husband and 3 daughters and a son, manage and operate Wadadli Restaurant, a thoroughly Jamaican institution in Mid-City on Tulane Avenue. We've gone through such tremendous amount of the menu. We say it's very large for such a small venue, but at the same time, everything's good. Now we're going to wrap up a few more of the entrees and then kick it off with the desserts, the beverages, and talk about those special events. Okay, we just talked about one of the greatest potatoes you'll ever find, and so don't forget the Wadadli seafood spud. But another one we want to talk about, and this is so you hometown folks can see what we're doing, is that Charmaine does a Caribbean shrimp Creole supreme. And Charmaine, why don't you tell us why is it Caribbean, and of course, even more importantly, why is it a supreme Caribbean?
The shrimp supreme is because of the different things that I put with it. It has the Creole sauce that I make with the shrimp. That goes. The shrimp is fried. It's not sautéed. It's fried shrimp.
Good.
And the
So
Creole
that'd be a little
sauce.
different. Most of the stuff
Right.
you've been doing is sautéed. So there's the
Sautéed,
first
so
change, a little
yeah.
fried, make it like New Orleans. Well, of course, most people in Creole don't fry it, so that's really even different than what we do down here. So go
Yeah.
ahead. We fry the shrimp. What else?
You prepare the sauce, the
Okay.
Creole sauce, to put
Uh-huh.
over the white rice.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then you fry the shrimps. And the fried shrimps, battered fried shrimps. And you also put French fries with it.
Now, there it is,
That's
folks.
the difference that make it a supreme, because it's supreme with the fried fish, the fried shrimp, and the French fries, and the sauce, the Creole sauce over the rice.
Wow. So there's two starches there, but if folks remember that is the most unusual use to put French fries with. In fact, one other restaurant so far that we brought on the show, and that was Clementine's Belgian Bistro. They serve, and it's very traditional in Belgium,
Okay.
they're what we call beef stew, and they serve them with double French fries, double fried French fries, and it's so unique but so good because of the two. So here's another situation where we're doing French fries with an unusual version of fried shrimp Creole. So another reason for you to try it. Now I'm going to call up real quick a couple of the others, but then we've got to move along because time's running. She's got a seafood pasta supreme, which a little bit is like that potato we talked about. Escovette, which we talked about earlier, being a little less hot than the jerk. She does escovette fish. She does a curry conch. Now, let's take one more second, because for those who do go to the islands, they know conch is one of the real staples of the seafood.
Yeah.
A lot of people find conch in America too tough, too chewy. And depending on how it's prepared is
How
the
it's
key.
prepared.
So tell us why you made Americans be able to eat conch.
Because I pong my conch. I use a rock.
A
I
rock.
have a nice rock that I use to pong my conch.
What she's saying, folks, is she tenderizes, what we call, just like you tenderize a bad piece of meat or something that's real tough. In America or whatever, friends, they've got those mallets with the spikes, but that's not the point. The point is the tenderization, that you've got to keep pounding it hard with something between something hard, so you get the conch tender through that method.
After you get it tender, then you have to cook it in some butter sauce.
Oh, that butter sauce.
The butter
yeah.
sauce will bring it very, very tender. and
Excellent,
soft.
excellent. And then what else do you do? Then you use your curry, you said.
Yeah, I burnt my curry with my conch. All
Okay.
my curry I burnt.
You
get
do.
the flavor
Okay.
out of it.
And then what do we serve it with?
I serve it with rice, either the rice and peas. It depends on which one the customer wants. The
Okay.
customer may want rice and peas, some want mashed potatoes, some wants pasta with the
Oh,
conch,
okay. So
the
you can,
curry
there's a lot of
conch.
variety side to it.
Varieties, yeah. It's easy.
Excellent. Well, that ought to teach you, folks. Try it. Now, of course, a lot of us are queasy. We grimace at conch because of the way it looks. It's just not a real attractive situation. But we got to move on, folks. We only have 5 minutes left in the show. We got to get Cedric back out here. Let me talk real quickly about a couple of side orders, and then we'll talk about dessert and beverages. One of the things that is very unusual, callaloo. Callaloo, very good. I mean, go ahead, tell us what callaloo is.
Callaloo is more like the mustard green family here in New Orleans. And we prepare our callaloo, and as I said, all our dishes has that butter sauce with it.
Exactly.
And that mellow cream butter that brings out the flavor in callaloo.
The
So
closest thing I can talk about, it reminds me of a steamed, like spinach,
Steamed
or a
spinach,
steamed.
right.
It is so delicious,
Steamed,
folks.
yeah.
If you like steamed spinach, don't hesitate. I ate a whole box of it the other day. It was so filling. I shouldn't have eaten that much. Could not stop. It was so tasty. So don't forget it. Callaloo will ask for her spinach, even though it's not spinach.
Right.
Another one real quick, fried plantains, which is traditional island Spanish food. And something we talked about earlier that one of the sandwiches came with, cocoa bread. What is cocoa bread? Again, an island indigenous thing.
Yeah, it's an island bread. It's a regular bread what they make, but they add a little sugar to their flour to bring out the flavor in cocoa bread. They name it cocoa because of the coconut cream that they put in the flour.
It has the consistency of what we call either like a butterfly or a Parker House roll, but the sweetness based on that butter and that coconut flavor, tremendous. It's a great side order, or in any of the dishes that it comes. But as a side order, you're going to find it delicious. It's one of the best breads you can find around. Okay, now we need to go on quickly. They have a full bar, but they also have some tropical drinks. We'd love to talk about those. I know, and some of them are alcoholic, some of them are non-alcoholic, I believe. I had a, what was it, a ting.
Thing.
Ting is really got a ting. It's like a Sprite. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like a
Closest
Sprite,
thing?
but yeah, what it's more tingly.
More tingly. More tingly. You have things here, cola champagne. What is that?
Champagne. It's just like a regular cola champagne that they sell here. The cola champagne from
But is it really champagne?
No, it's sweet.
It's sweet.
It's
Okay.
sweet.
Okay. You got a carrot mango nectar. So I'll get
Yeah.
to these for these people who are famous, like the juices and all. We got
Right.
a tremendous amount of stuff. Ginger beer, ginger nectar, Irish moss can. Now, what is that?
Irish moss in a can is like it's a drink we call back home. Mostly men drink that drink. It's more like a creamy drink. I
Excellent.
can't.
Well, folks, we can't go. I'm sorry to cut you short, but we're running out of time. Wadadli Jamaican Restaurant, the wonderful Charmaine Martin and her family will entertain you. Don't forget, the big thing we forgot to say is, we said it earlier, on November 8th, Saturday, November 8th, is her grand anniversary. We want all of you to come out there and eat that night. I know I'm going to do my best to be there, especially because our featured musical guest is going to be performing for us. So what better combination of seeing the restaurant, tasting the restaurant, and hearing the music of the islands. Okay, without further ado, watch for us next week. As usual, 3 o'clock, Channel 77, Restaurant Review. I'm Bob Bockelman. Cedric, what are you going to take us out with?
In the island, it's not like second line soca. Is this the real soca? Soca
Oh.
style.
Soca style. All right, Cedric did it. Go ahead.
I can take it out.
She walking the party, jumping up. Hold on, a stranger in me bed. Stranger in me bed. She jumped me in the soca and music and she gets in. Stranger in the bed. Stranger in the bed. Oh, she juking up. They whining, they juking up. What she juking up? We say she done juking up. What she feeling whining so? The jumping so. She whining so. She jamming so. Oh Lord, the whining. What she whining? She whining. What she whining? She parents at the same time, the music and the fever. The people jamming harder and soca bring the fever. You watch a stranger in.
The most important city in the world is hidden beneath the sea. The coral reef is home to more species than any place on Earth. It keeps the oceans healthy. It keeps our planet healthy. Unfortunately, overfishing and pollution are destroying the coral reef. Most will disappear in our lifetime, unless you help. But just think, if you do, you might just save the world.
lord of the jungle, king of the apes, father of boy. He knows what it takes to be a dad. You go for a ride, you take a swim, you hang out. All it takes is time. Hey, it doesn't take a hero, but it takes a man to be a dad.